Hello, 8th grade. Today we'll be reviewing for the topic test for topics 2 and 3. All right, so you all have your study guides, so we are going to go over them. So number one says, which of these has a solution of x equals 4? So we have A, B, C, and D. So in our options, we are going to have to actually go through all of our options to see which one has the solution of x equals 4. So the first one, A. A says 2 times 4x minus 2 equals 2 plus 6x. From here, we are going to have to distribute. 2 times 4x gives us 8x. 2 times 2, negative 2 gives us negative 4. Equals, and we can just bring this down, 2 plus 6x. From here, we have to now combine like terms. It's easier for us if we just take 6x from this side and put it over here. This leaves us with 2 because these cancel out. And 8x minus 6x will give us 2x minus 4. From here, we just bring this negative 4 over here. And remember, we have to do the opposite. So we plus 4 on this side and plus 4 on this side. And 2 plus 4 will give us 6. Here, remember, our mission is always to get x by itself. So we have to now divide both sides by 2. And x will give us 3.
You need some eyes for your turkey?
Okay, so as you can see, x equals 3. But it says, which of these has a solution of x equals 4? So in here, x did not equal 4, so we know it is not A. But let's try B. B says 5 minus 3x equals negative 4 times x plus 6. And remember again, we're going to have to distribute this negative 4. So we can drop this 5 minus 3x right here. Negative 4 times x gives us negative 4x. Negative 4 times 6 gives us minus negative 24 or minus 24. From here, we'll be combining like terms. We can take this negative 24 and combine it with the 5. We add 24 on both sides. These cancel out. We're left with negative 4x on this side. And 5 plus 24 gives us 29 minus 3x. From here, we can combine this negative 3x and put it over here. But remember, we have to take the opposite sign. So we add 3x on both sides. And we're left with 29. And negative 4x plus 3x will give us negative x. And we cannot leave this like this because it is a negative x. So all we do is just switch it over to the other side, which will then give us negative 29 equals x. And as before, just like with A, x is not equal to 4, it's equal to negative 29 on B. So we know that B is not the answer. Remember, at any time you need to pause the video to take notes, please do so and press play when you are ready. And C. C says negative 5 times 3 minus 10x is equal to negative 3 minus 2x. From here, we have to distribute this negative 5. When we do that, negative 5 times 3 gives us negative 15. Negative 5 times negative 10x gives us positive 50x. And we can just bring this negative 3 minus 2x down. From here, we can now combine like terms, okay? So here we have our like terms, negative 15, negative 3, positive 50x, and negative 2x. We can add 2x here and add it over here to combine our like terms. These cross out, we're left with negative 3 on this side, and 50 minus 2 gives us 48x. And negative 15, and then we have to bring down our operation, which is addition. From here, we're not done combining like terms. Here, we can add 15 on this side and add it on this side. These cancel out and we're left with 48x is equal to negative 3 plus 15 will give us positive 12. And from here, we will divide by 48 to get x by itself, and x, 12 over 48. Even if we were to go ahead through with the division, it still would not equal 4. So we already know that C is not our answer. So we are now left with D, none of the above. So the answer to number 1 would be D. I understand that that was a lot, but you still have to go through it to make sure that your answer is correct. Number 2, just in case you can't see it, here's number 2 right here. Solve for x. We have 1/4 x minus 4 equals 4 times negative x plus 3. All right. 1/4 x minus 4 equals 4 times negative x plus 3. All right. From here, we have to distribute this 4. And when we do, 4 times negative x will give us negative 4x. 4 times 3 will give us positive 12. And from here, we can just bring down this side. I understand we have a fraction right there, but let's go ahead and combine all the like terms that we can before we deal with that fraction. From here, we can combine these like terms, the negative 4 and the 12. We add 4 on this side, and we add it on this side. 12 plus 4 gives us positive 16. From here, I do not like dealing with fractions. So if you can turn it into a decimal, please do. If it is easier for you to deal with a fraction, go ahead. So the decimal here, 1/4, can be turned into 0.25x. And now, this fraction turned into a decimal is easier to look at. So here we can go ahead and combine our like terms. These cancel out and we're left with 16 on this side, and 0.25x plus 4x gives us 4.25x. From here, we divide by 4.25 on both sides. you are going to get x equals 3.76. But what if your answer, they ask for a fraction? That's okay. You can just turn this decimal right back into a fraction. You take the whole number 3. We're going to work up here, okay? We're going to take the whole number 3 and we're going to put 3. Now, the numbers in back of the decimal, we're going to take them and put them in the numerator, which is 76. We're going to look at the place value. This is the tens place. This is the hundredths place. So therefore, being that this number ends in the hundredths place, we're going to put the 100 there. You with me so far? Good. All right, from here, we can't leave this like this. Why? Because we can reduce, we can simplify, okay? So, when we simplify 3 and 76 over 100, remember, that whole number stays the same. Don't touch that whole number, all right? Now, we need a number that can go evenly into 76, the numerator, and evenly into the denominator, 100. And we can get 2. So, 2 goes into 76. Times 38 times. And then we already know that 2 goes into 150 times. But we're not done. Why? Because we can take it further. Okay? So, we can also let 2 go into the numerator, 38, and 2 go into the denominator, 50. So, let's see. 38, 2 goes into 3 once, 2 times 1 is 2. Bring down is 8. 19 times. And then 2 goes into 50, 25 times. So, if for any reason the decimal is not there, your fraction would be 3 and 19 over 25. Okay? So please, if you need to, pause the video and take notes. And press play when you are ready to start again. All right, number 3. Number 3 says, how many solutions does the equation have? Then they give you an equation, 5x plus 4x plus 2 equals 4 plus x plus 4. And then we have our options. A is no solution, B is 1 solution, C is 2 solutions, and D is infinitely many solutions. All right, so number 3, it says 5x plus 4x plus 2 equals 4 plus x plus 4. All right. Now we have like terms that we need to first combine. All right, so let's work with this side. 5x plus 4x gives us 9x. And then we bring down this 2. Here on this side, we have 4 plus 4, that's 8. And then we have this x. So on one side, we have 9x plus 2. And on the other side, we have x plus 8. These are not equal to each other at all. So therefore, it wouldn't be D. It's not infinitely many solutions. If it was, then these two would be equal on both sides. Okay? But that's not where we are. So we have already eliminated D, infinitely many solutions. So now it can only be A, B, or C. So let's keep working. Here we can continue to combine our like terms. We can take x from here on both sides. 9x minus x will give us 8x. Here, we can keep going because 8x plus 2 is not equal to 8. So we combine like terms. 8 minus 2 gives us 6. From here, we can go ahead and divide by 8 on both sides. And x does give us a solution of 6 over 8, and we can further reduce it. Now, that means that x is actually giving us a solution. So therefore, it would be B, one solution, because that's what it is giving us. It is actually giving us a solution and it's not 0, okay? If it was 0 on one side and something on the other, so let's say it looked something like this. This cannot happen, so therefore this answer would produce a no solution. But that's not what happened. We actually have a x equals 6 over 8, and if we keep going, 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 8 4 times, and now you have x is equal to 3/4. So therefore, you have one solution. So the answer would be B. So please pause the video, take notes, and then press play when you're ready to continue. All right, number 4. Now, I must tell you in advance, number 4 is a lengthy one, okay? Because it has the graph and the question here, and then later I'm going to scroll down to the options A, B, C, or D, okay? Number 4 says, what is the solution to the system of equations shown in the graph below? All right, do not let this discourage you. When they ask you what is the solution to the system of equations, they are asking you at what point does this line intersect. That's it. So all you're going to do is look to see where do this line and this line intersect each other. And they do right there. So the coordinates for here would be 1 and 3. Okay? So remember, when they ask you what is the solution to the system of equations, all they're asking you is at what point do these two lines intersect? Okay? And so, like I said, it will be 1 and 3. Okay? So now let's scroll down to see the options. Yep. And so as you can see, B says 1 and 3. Okay? Because we had A 2, 3, B 1, 3, C -1 and 3, or D none of the above. Okay, so please remember to go ahead and take notes if you need to. Just remember that when they ask you what is the system of equations, they're asking you at what point do the lines intersect. All right, number 5. So remember the question that we were just doing, okay? So now they're just asking us to do it in reverse. So find the point of intersection of the lines y equals x minus 1 and y equals 2x minus 2, okay? So instead of them just giving you the lines like they did in the last question, they're giving you the equations of the lines, and you have to find out at what point do they intersect. So this is number 5. They gave us y equals x minus 1 and y equals 2x minus 2. Okay? Now, remember, I always told you to use simple points, the same points over again. So we're going to go ahead and make our table. And here we can just use 2 points. Okay? Our favorite points. Well, my favorite anyway. 0, 1, and 2 for this, and same thing over here. The reason why we are making this table because we need to find out the points. the coordinates on the line, the graph. So we can pick our X points, and the simplest points that we can pick is 0, 1, and 2, okay? So what that means is that all we have to do is, every time that we see X, we substitute it for 0, and then we can get Y, okay? So if X is 0, here, 0 minus 1 will still give us -1. So now we know that Y is equal to -1. But what about if X is 1? 1 minus 1 is 0. So therefore, if X is 1, Y is 0. And then 2, what if X is 2? 2 minus 1 will give us 1. And we are done with that one. Now let's move on to this one. If X is 0, two times 0 is 0, minus 2, so therefore Y is equal to -2. What if X was 1? 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Well, what about if X equaled 2? 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. Now, when you graph these with your now coordinates 0, 1, 0, -1, 1, 0, 2, 1, then you have 0 and -2, 1 and 0, 2 and 2. When you graph these, they're going to cross at some point. And you know, a good tip to know is that if you have, look at this, we have this coordinate here and we have the same coordinate. So that's going to let you know that's exactly when they cross, at coordinates 1 and 0, okay? If you should need extra points in order to graph, you can always use -1 and -2. So if 0, 1, and 2 are not enough points for you to graph, for you to find that line, use, in addition to 0, 1, 2, use -1 and -2, okay? So that way you have more points. So here, find the point of intersection of the lines. It will be right there, 1, 0, which is C. So please go ahead, pause the video and take notes. All right. Number 6. I know that number 6 can be very intimidating to look at, but I don't want you to become intimidated when looking at these word problems. Remember, read word problems over and over and over again until you understand what they are asking you to do and the information that they are giving you. Number 6, the tickets for the haunted house cost either $4 or $8. A total of 262 tickets worth $3,000 was sold. If X represents the number of $4 tickets and Y represents the number of $8 tickets, which system of linear equations can be used to find the number of each type of ticket sold? Remember, don't attempt to do it until you understand it, all right? So the tickets for the haunted house cost either $4 or $8. A total of 262 tickets worth $3,000 was sold. So if X represents the number of $4 tickets and Y represents the number of $8 tickets, which system of the linear equations can be used? And as you can see in these options, okay, they are asking you basically the total. All right, so the only information that they give us is that the ticket costs. And the ticket costs either $4 or $8, okay? They said a total of 262 tickets was sold, and that it all costs, those 262 tickets, everything came out to be $3,000, okay? So if X represents the number of the $4 tickets, so that would be 4X. And then they said that Y represents the number of $8 tickets, so that will be 8Y. It still has to all equal out to, when we add this up, 4X plus 8Y has to add up to $3,000. Okay? And then they said they also have, you see this option here? So they have two equations, all right? They have a top equation, and then they have a bottom equation, okay? So we know that a total of 262 tickets was sold, okay? But we just don't know how many. They didn't give us that information. So we know that the X, the $4 tickets, X, plus the Y, the $8 tickets. So once we combine X plus Y, that has to equal 262 tickets. Okay? Remember, they did not tell us how many tickets were sold, all right? They said that the cost of the haunted house was either $4 or $8. And then they said that X represents the $4 tickets and Y represents the $8 tickets, okay? So remember, they did not tell us how many tickets were sold out of the $4 and the $8 tickets, but they did tell us that it was worth $3,000. So 4X plus 8Y has to equal $3,000. And here, they told us that X represents the number of $4 tickets, and Y represents the number of $8 tickets. So therefore, 262 tickets were sold. That means that X plus Y has to equal $262. And do we see that? Yes, we do. B, 4X plus 8Y. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a mistake on here. That's supposed to say 4X plus 8Y is equal to $3,000. Let me fix that right now. All right. So 4X plus 8Y is equal to $3,000. And then you have X plus Y is equal to $262. So remember, go ahead and pause the video if you need to, and press play when you're ready to move on. Let me zoom out a little now. It's okay. All right, number 7. Number 7 says, Connie, Clifford, Emmanuel, and Jason drew a graph representing the amount of salad in pounds and the amount the salad costs. What is the unit cost in salads per pound? Here we are looking for a unit cost. And remember, whenever we're looking for the unit cost, that number has to be 1 in the denominator. All right, so they said, what is the unit cost per pound? So therefore, 1 has to be in the denominator, okay, and our cost in the numerator. All right, so we have our graph, we have salad costs, have the cost in dollars on our y-axis and the amount in pounds on our x-axis, okay? And so our question is asking us, what is the unit cost? So we already know that y has to be our denominator. So therefore, amount is 1 in pounds, because it's per pound. So therefore, we're gonna look at our graph and find the number 1, which is right here. Don't worry about the information that they give you on this graph, okay? So we look at the number 1, we go up to the graph and see exactly where the line intersects, and it intersects here, and so 4. So we know that for 1 pound is $4, okay? So just remember that when they ask you what is the unit cost per pound, they're asking you for 1 pound, okay? And so therefore, when we scroll up in our choices, there it is in A for $4 per 1 pound, okay? So please go ahead and pause the video if you need to and take notes, okay? We're coming up to our last question. All right, number 8. Number 8 says, Markel used the proportion y over x equals 14 over 3 with the equation of a line having similar triangles. Which of these statements about the line is correct? Select all that apply. All right. Remember, when they say select all that apply, that means it is normally more than one answer, okay? All right, here they said Markel used the proportion. And this is number 8. Y over x is equal to 14 over 3. Okay, with the equation of a line having similar triangles. All right, so here they also gave us options A, B, C, and D. A says the y-intercept of the line is 0. B, the y-intercept of the line is 14 over 3. The slope of the line is 14 over 3, or the slope of the line is 0. Okay, so that tells us, that gives us clues as to what we need to do. Okay, so we have y over x, rise over run. We also have in the options, they ask for y-intercept. Also, they ask for a slope. So that tells us right now that we need to put this in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, okay? And b means that this is our y-intercept. M is our slope, okay? So please remember that. Your b is your y-intercept. Your m is your slope, okay? So let's go ahead and put this into y equals mx plus b form. We're now set up with a proportion, y over x equals 14 over 3. So from here, all we have to do is just cross multiply. When we do, y times 3 gives us 3y. And we have our equal sign. X times 14 gives us 14x. And remember, y equals mx plus b, that means that y is by itself. So therefore, we'll be solving for y. Remember, to solve for y, don't solve for x, solve for y. Put it in this form. So when we do, we have to now divide by 3. And what we do on one side, of course, we do on the other. So we divide by 3 on this side, and we have to divide by 3 on this side. These cross out, we're left with y equals 14 over 3x. But we are not done. The reason why is because, remember, it's y equals mx plus b. This is just y equals the m and the x. We don't see a plus b. So if there is no plus b, guess what? It is plus 0. Okay? So now we already know what our b is, which is our y-intercept, and the y-intercept is 0. Do we see that? Yes, we do. A, the y-intercept of the line is 0. And we see a slope. Here's our slope, the m. Our slope is 14/3. Do we see that? Yes, we do. C, the slope of the line is 14/3. Okay? So just please remember that. All right? Take notes and write this stuff down. If you have any questions, please contact me on either at Moto, or you can contact me in the comments area. Or you can wait until we are back in class.